Be attentive. Page 74, question 3. The following balances were extracted in the books of Sudden Death Limited on 31st March 2015. 31st March 2015, on which date a winding up order was made. Now, first adjustment at the end. Entry for accrued salary 4,000 and rent, not rent, make it rent. Rupees 2,000 has still to be made in the books. Accrued means? So entry for outstanding salary 4,000 and outstanding rent 2,000 is still to be made in the books. Upon which list will we include that? Salary and rent will come in preferential creditors. No? Salary doesn't come, wages comes, and that way it is at the bottom level. In the management level, that's salary and wages don't come. And rent also doesn't come in that. Adam? D, that is floating charge. D is floating charge. List B, they are secure. Ragna? Where will accrued salary and rent be included? List A is assets, these are liabilities. List A is assets not specifically pledged. MN? That is which list? D is floating charge. E, all of you need to remember this because we can do the mappings accordingly. Mark it as list E, they are unsecured creditors. Thoda? Come on. All of you should remember the list properly. What does list A include? Asset not specifically pledged. B, asset specifically pledged as well as secured creditors. C, preferential. D, floating charge. E, unsecured. F, preference shareholders, and G, equity shareholders. This both will come in list E, unsecured creditors. Okay. Next. Now look at the remaining things. 20,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each, rupees 8 per share called up. Netra? List G, mark it as G, equity shares holders. Shah, 2,000 preference shares of 100 each fully paid up. Preference shares list A, assets not specifically pledged. H, deficiency. Preference shareholders will come in list F. Okay, mark it as F. Then Sunita calls in areas on equity shares 1,000 and ERB 600. List A. Then Abhishek 15% debentures secured by first floating charge on assets. G is equity shareholders. H is deficiency account. Samarth?
Sir, list D, floating charge.
D, floating charge. And as such, debentures will generally come in D, remember that. Bank overdraft secured by second floating charge on assets. Abhishek? List D. This will also come in list D. But first we would pay debenture holders because they have first floating charge, and then we would pay bank overdraft because they have second floating charge. Then fully secured creditors against plant and machinery. Netra? List B, secured assets and creditors. Then Naya, investments estimated to realize 60,000. B, against which security is given on investments? Against which liability? Nisha? List A, investments are list A by list B. Why you people are not able to identify the things? What is so difficult in this? Assets not specifically placed as list A and specifically placed as list B. Then, Namrata, plant and machinery secured to creditors estimated to realize 80,000. This is list B because they are secured with creditors. Dipesh, land and building estimated to realize 80,000. List A, land and building is not given in security, so list A. Then MN, rates and taxes. Preferential traders, market as C. Then urban wages and salaries, C. So we can do one thing, that accrued salary also at the bottom, 4,000, take it as list C only, and rent of 2,000 market in list E. Okay, wages and salaries will also be included in list C, preferential traders. We assume they are not exceeding 4 months and they are not exceeding 20, and definitely they are not exceeding 20,000. Okay, then Agam, bills payable. Where is it secured? Which asset is given in security? Unsecured creditors. So which list? E. Then some sundry creditors. Against which asset is given in security? They are sundry, they are not secured.
Preferential creditors.
Why preferential? Which is the list of 7 items in preferential creditors? Does it include sundry creditors? List E, unsecured creditors, they are not secure. Then Dipesh, bills receivable estimated to realize 2,000. What does B include? What is list B? Asset specifically pledged. You understand the meaning of specifically pledged? What is the meaning of specifically pledged? What is the meaning of asset specifically pledged? They are given in security when borrowing any money. Where is bills receivable given in security and to borrow which money? How can you take it as B? Without understanding, you people have done the homework example. Can you see that fully secured creditor is granted against plant and machinery? That is list B, plant and machinery is given in security. Where is bills receivable and who will take bills receivable in security? No one will take bills receivable, only fixed assets can be given in security. Current assets are always unsecured assets, they are list A only. Without, please properly think it, it's very easy topic. What nonsense you people are answering it to me. Any list you are answering randomly. We are not playing junior KG 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Then in the order first answer A, then B, then C, and then D. Bills receivable are list A, they are not pledged assets. Abhishek, debtors estimated to realize 60%. List A. Shah, bills discounted, rupees 30,000 likely to be dishonored. E. Unsecured creditors, because bills discounted likely to get dishonored, so we may have to pay 8,000. Bills discounted are 30,000 but likely to dishonored are only 8,000, so 8,000 is unsecured. Contingent liability likely to be accrued 6,000. Netra. List the unsecured creditors. Nisha, stock in trade estimated to produce 38,000. List A, unsecured creditors. And Sunita, cash in hand and at bank. List A, 3,200. Okay, make the format. Make the format. Now, whose mobile is this? Yes, now, Arpan?
Assets not specified.
Yes, we'll start with assets not specifically pledged. What else? In bracket, what will mention?
So list A.
As per list A. Yes, now? Calls in arrears. What amount? 600. What we have to write here? Estimated realizable value. What is estimated realizable value given in bracket? 600. Yes, further? Investments in bracket, again you can see estimated realizable value is 60,000. Further? Land and building, all of we can see estimated realizable value is 80,000. Then bills receivable, the estimated realizable value is 2,000. Debtors, 1,40,000 into 60%, that is 84,000. Anyone having any doubt in this? Stock in trade, 38,000. Cash in hand and at bank, 3,200. Everyone is clear with list A? So 60, 140, 220, 250, 260, 165, 67, 800. Is it? Any doubts up till here? Raise your hand, we're still writing up till here. All of you are clear with this?
Yes.
Then, Pratna, assets specifically pledged as per list B in bracket. Assets, ERD, amount due to secured creditors, surplus or deficiency. Yes, but you can see plant and machinery is marked as list B. So asset is plant and machinery. Can you all see again estimated realizable value? No, not 60. 80,000 is the estimated realizable value of plant and machinery. Further? 60,000 are creditors. Fully secured creditors against plant and machinery 60,000. And after that, next to next item, plant and machinery. Secured to creditors estimated to realize 80,000. Do you all get it or not? Yes. Further? Yes, the amount due to secured creditors is 60,000. Did you understand this, everyone?
20,000.
And 20,000 surplus, so what will you do? You'll take it in outer column. Is everyone clear with this? Now 267,800 plus 20,000, 287,800. Now what will we call this? 2,87,800. We call it estimated value of assets specifically pledged. Namrata? Estimated cash available for preferential creditors, creditors having floating charge and unsecured creditors. Okay, this is the estimated cash available. Yes, for preferential creditors, comma, creditors having floating charge and unsecured creditors. Is everyone up to clear with this? So first part of the statement is done. And what next? Summary of gross assets. Yes. Estimated realizable value of assets specifically pledged. Yes, that is this 80,000. Okay, plant and machinery is estimated realizable value. And assets not specifically pledged 2,67,800, 3,47,800. Is everyone clear with the second part? Any doubt in this? Okay, this 80,000 is taken over here, and this 267,800 is taken over here. Got it, everyone? Now in the third part, sure, what columns will make now? Gross liability and amount deducted from surplus or added to deficiency. You have to make two more columns. Gross liabilities and amount to be deducted from surplus or added to deficiency. Samat?
Creditors.
Sundry creditors.
Sorry, secure creditors.
What amount? Directly from the statement only you will get it. Solution. Samat here. Secure creditors 60,000. Okay? And what did I tell you? Remember?
Yes.
Which amount is to be taken?
Which one is?
Out of these two, whichever is less. Okay? Here 60 is less, so we'll take that. Suppose this was 50,000, then we would have taken?
50,000.
And if this one is less, then we would mention also in bracket to the extent they are covered by assets specifically pledged. But here they are fully covered. All 60,000 is going to be received. So 60,000 secured creditors in bracket as per list B. Is everyone clear with this? And if there was deficiency, where would we include the deficiency? List D. And then you would mention in bracket that it is only to the extent they are covered by assets specifically pledged. Means entire 60 is not covered, only 50 is covered, so 50 would be written. Any amount in the right column?
No.
No amount will come in the right column because they are already paid from plant and machinery. Is everyone clear with this? Then the page preferential creditors as per list D. C. Yes, first is rates and taxes, 4,000. Inner column, wages and salaries, 3,000. And at the bottom, accrued salary, 4,000. 4 plus the 7 plus 4, 11. Both the sides we will write 11,000. Did everyone understand this? Anyone having any doubt up till here? Okay, and nothing. 11,000 is the total. Now, 2,87,800 minus 11,000. What remains? 2,76,800. Jack, what will we call this? Now we have paid. So now you say this is estimated cash available for creditors having floating charge and unsecured creditors. Until here you always have surplus. Estimated cash available for creditors having floating charge and unsecured creditors. Any doubts with this? All are clear with it? Then Abhishek, yes, but what is the heading we'll get? After preferential creditors, creditors having floating charge in bracket as per list D. Yes, Abhishek. 15% debentures 2 lakhs, bank overdraft 1 lakh, both the sides 3 lakhs. Is everyone clear up there here? Now if we minus 3 lakhs, 276,800 minus 3 lakhs, what do we get? Minus 23,200. Minus 23,200, so our comfort will be right. Estimated deficiency as regards creditors having floating charge. To pay to floating charge, we have deficiency of 23, we will not be able to pay that. So estimated deficiency as regards creditors having floating charge. Did you all understand this? Everyone? Then Nisha. Now we'll take unsecured creditors as per list E. Yes, first is bills payable 24,000, sundry creditors 60,000, bills discounted 8,000, further contingent liability of 6,000 and accrued rent of 2,000. Right, everyone? So 1 lakh. Both the sides 1 lakh. Now, what amount will get now? Yes, now because there was deficiency, we will add. So 23,200 plus 1 lakh, 1,23,200. What will we call this? Estimated deficiency? No. What did we call this estimated deficiency as regards creditors having floating charge now? Estimated deficiency as regards unsecured creditors. Estimated deficiency as regards unsecured creditors. Did everyone of you understand this? Then, Sunita, preference shareholders as per list F. Directly we cannot write 2 lakhs. 2,000, which preference shares? Okay, only preference shares are given. 2,000 preference shares of rupees 100 each. 2 lakhs. Okay, here we'll do the total of gross liabilities also. 4,71,000. Here 2,000 preference shares of 100 each, 2 lakhs. Is everyone clear with this? Then, Saman?
Equity shares.
Equity shareholders as per list G.
So 8.
20,000 equity shares of rupees
8 for shareholder.
10 each and 8 called up. 1,60,000. Is everyone clear with this? Now, here we have to do one important thing. Write this 1,60,000 in inner column. We don't have to pay to the shareholders 1,60,000. Reason? Can you see there are calls in areas of 1,000?
Yes, sir.
And out of that 600 is only estimated to realize. Is what is not expected to realize.
400.
So we will pay them 400 less. Whosoever has not paid that calls in areas, why will we pay them more amount than no one would pay the money? So out of 1,000 we could recover 600, 400 we could not recover. In short, we will not pay 160, we will pay minus 400, 1,59,600. So this 160 right in inner column less. Unrealizable calls in arrears 400. So outer column 1,59,600. Did everyone understand this? Okay. If full 1,000 was estimated to be realized, then we would include full 160. Nothing expected to be realized, then we would do 160 minus 1,000. 1,59,000. Now we'll add it 123,200 plus 2,323,200 plus 159,600. 4,82,800. This is estimated deficiency as regards shareholders. In bracket as per list H. Understood this, everyone? So how is this statement of affairs done? Everyone is clear with it? Now in the question we are asked to make C at the end. Prepare statement of affairs and deficiency account. So we will find the reasons why there is a deficiency of 4,82,000. Did you understand this? Now list H. Now before we make that list H, if you recollect the very first question what we had done, we had already marked list H. Where? In the question. Or if you see in the question. Profit and loss of 20 lakhs. There was one reason of deficiency. But in this question, are you given with proper balance sheet? No. There is no P&L account available. First, we have to make that balance sheet and find one reason of deficiency, that is profit and loss account. Either it may be a surplus or it may be a deficiency. If assets are more, then it's a surplus. If liabilities are more, then it's a deficiency. So we'll make that workings first. Okay, either you can make proper balance sheet, or alternatively you can make a trial balance kind of statement also. We are interested in debit balances which are assets and credit balances which are liabilities, and whatever balancing figure remains, if it remains in liabilities side means assets are more, if it remains on assets side it means liabilities are more. If liabilities are more, it will be a reason of deficiency. If assets are more, it will be a reason of surplus. Did you understand this? So we'll make that workings first, and then we'll find the other reasons of deficiency and surplus. Any doubts for this? So let our working note 1, and we are doing it because balance sheet is not given. Otherwise, we would have directly taken that. So a kind of balance sheet can be made. And order is not important. Straight away, we can write any of the liabilities and assets in any order. Our purpose is just to get excess of assets over liabilities or excess of liabilities over assets. Now, here don't take that notes into consideration because they are unrecorded. At the end, you can see estimated accrued salary and rent, and it is given they are still to be made in the books. Entry is not made in the books. So we record only those things which are recorded in the books. Only they would be coming in balance sheet. Okay? Here don't take ERVs. Balance sheet will include everything at book values. Okay, balance sheet will include everything at book values. So if you see the question, has everyone done the columns?
Yes, sir.
Very first is equity share capital. Would it come on liability side or asset side? Liability side, equity share capital 1,60,000. Preference share capital? Liability side 2 lakhs. Calls in areas? Asset side, or you can minus from share capital, but we'll write on asset side, that is a receivable amount 1,000. As I said, no ERVs, only book values. Debentures? Liability side 2 lakhs. Bank overdraft? Liability side 1 lakh. Secured creditors? Liability side 60,000. Investments? Asset side, what amount? 80,000 book values, okay? Plant and machinery? Asset side, what amount? 1,20,000 book value. Land and building? Asset side 40,000. Rates and taxes? Liability side 4,000. Wages and salaries? Liability side 3,000. Bills payable? Liability side 24,000. Creditors liability side 60,000. Bills receivable asset side 6,000. Debtors asset side 1,40,000. Bills discounted will not come. Where does bills discounted used to appear earlier? Bills discounted in balance sheet, company final accounts. Where we used to write that? Contingent liabilities below the balance sheet. It doesn't come in the balance sheet. And next is also contingent liability that would not come in the balance sheet. That would come below the balance sheet. Is everyone clear with this? Stock asset side 60,000 and cash in hand and at bank asset side 3,200. Did you all understand this? Okay, bills discounted comes below the balance sheet, so we have not written. Contingent liability comes below the balance sheet, so we have not written. Mostly liabilities should be more because the company is going into liquidation. That indicates it. So 1, 3, 5, 6, 6, 6, 8. 8 lakh?
11,000.
807 000 and do minus assets and minus 1, 2, 283 minus what remains is the balance. 354
800.
360800 is the balance.
Yes.
This is excess of liabilities over assets. This is one reason of deficiency. Okay? This is one of the reasons of deficiency, that liabilities are more than assets by 3,60,800 in bracket balancing figure. When we would have not made this balance sheet? When balance sheet is directly given, P&L account is directly given. If it's a negative figure, it means it's excess of liability over assets. Here we have made it because P&L balance sheet is not given. Okay. Now, We'll mark the reason. See, here finally we have got deficiency. So whichever things result in deficiency, we will add. Okay, whichever things result in deficiency, we will add, like this one. And whichever things result in surplus, we will minus. And we would do vice versa, if there was surplus. In case if there is a surplus, then whichever things result in surplus, we would add. And whichever things result in deficiency, we would minus. Once again, here finally we have. So which things you will add? Things resulting in. Finally there is a deficiency. So which things will add? Those things which result in deficiency or surplus? Deficiency. And those things which result in surplus you will minus. Okay, and if there is a surplus at the end, then which things you would add? Those things which result in surplus. And those things which result in deficiency we would minus. Is everyone clear with this? Let us mark. Deficiency will mark B, surplus will mark as S. And then we'll write those reasons in list H. First one, equity share capital, there is no deficiency or surplus because entire 160 is considered. Preference shares, no deficiency or surplus. Calls in areas, there is deficiency. How much? 400. Against 1000 we could recover only 400. 600. So mark it as D. There is a reason of deficiency, 400 rupees. Debentures we have paid full 2 lakhs. No deficiency or surplus. Bank overdraft we have paid full 1 lakh. Secured creditors we have paid full 60,000. Investment against 80,000, how much is realized? 60,000. So deficiency, mark it as D. But this D stands for deficiency. Don't get mixed up with that floating charge. Okay? Then land and building. Sorry, plant and machinery 120 and 80. Deficiency of 40,000. Land and building 40,000 and 80,000. Surplus of 40,000. Mark it as S. Rates and taxes, no deficiency or surplus, we are paying full amount. Wages and salaries, bills payable, creditors, no deficiency, surplus. Bills receivable again 6,000, 2,000, so 4,000 of deficiency. Mark it as D. Debtors against 140, 60% means remaining 40% is deficiency. We have realized only 184,000 means 56,000 is deficiency. D. Bills discounted full deficiency of 8,000 because it was not there in the balance sheet. But now we have to pay the money. D. Same way contingent liability. Deficiency, it was not there in the balance sheet but we have to pay the money. So it is completely a reason of deficiency. D. Stock in trade against 60, 38,000. 22,000 deficiency. D. Cash in hand and at bank, it will never result in deficiency or surplus, we will get same amount. And accrued salary and rent has not been recorded in the book, so that is also a reason of deficiency. It is not recorded and now we have to pay the money. Okay? So only one thing is resulting in surplus, rest all is deficiency except land and building. So now we'll make list H. All the things resulting in deficiency first we will add and resulting in surplus first then we will minus. And our answer must come 480 to 800. So let us make list H. Give the heading list H. Deficiency account. Particulars and amount. First we will add which things which are resulting in deficiency. So you write it as items contributing to deficiency. Or you will add items contributing to deficiency. All the items marked as D from the beginning. So calls in arrears unrealizable 400. Then decrease in investments or decrease in value of investments 20,000. Then decrease in value of plant and machinery 40,000. Then bills receivable unrealizable 4,000. Debtors unrealizable 56,000. Anyone who did not understand 56,000 unrealizable debtors, raise your hand. All are clear with this? 40% remaining. Bills discounted, likely to be dishonored, 8,000. Contingent liability likely to be accrued, 6,000. Fall in value of stock, decrease in value of stock, 22,000. And accrued salary, unrecorded, 4,000. Accrued rent, unrecorded. What is going on? Accrued rent, unrecorded, 2,000. Did everyone understand this? So these all are resulting in deficiency. Personal add them. 140. Okay, just 1 minute. We forgot this main reason. Excess of liabilities over assets. That's why we had made that working. Excess of liabilities over assets in bracket working note 1. 3,60,800. 5,23,200. Okay. Any doubts with this? And from this we will subtract items resulting in surplus. Means we will write items decreasing deficiency.
Yes,
We'll write items decreasing deficiency. Means those items which are marked as S. Only one item, so we can directly take in outer column. Otherwise you write them in inner column and then to total in outer column. Only one item is resulting in surplus, that is land and building, 40,000. Increase in value of land and building, 40,000. Notice 523,200 minus 40,000. 1,000 differences. Okay. This calls in areas are not to be taken. The reason, it doesn't result in any deficiency. We are paying equity shareholders less amount only. To equity shareholders we are already paying after deducting 400. So that is not really resulting into any deficiency. Cancel that. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
So 422, 800 minus 40,000, 482, 800. Now does it match or not? This deficiency was 482, 800. Estimated deficiency as regards shareholders. Okay, so the reason of not including calls and arrears is clear,
Yes, sir.
because
We have already
we have already deducted that amount from equity share capital. We'll be paying them 400 less because they have not paid the money. So calls and arrears really does not result in any deficiency or surplus. Cancel that D also from calls and arrears. So everyone is clear with this question? So this will be like 15 marks full-fledged question. Now question 2 will do the markings and you'll solve it on your own. Do the markings on your own first. Question 2. Always first read the adjustments. Okay. Do the markings reading the adjustments and balance sheet items, then I'll discuss it. Cha. Do the markings for question 2 first. What is very important? Don't pick it up. Yes, done the markings, everyone? Shall I discuss it? In 45 minutes you will solve it, so 15 minutes you should not take in doing the markings. Okay? Maximum 2 to 3 minutes in marking so that you start solving it fast. Be ready. Sri Chopra is appointed as liquidator of Moon Company Limited in voluntary liquidation on 31st March 14. Following balances are extracted from the books on that date. First, below the balance sheet. And then you are required to prepare statement of affairs and deficiency or surplus account, both. So you make this statement of affairs also, but the best part is this workings is not needed. Balance sheet is already given. So directly after this you make list H, which will be deficiency, or if you get surplus then surplus account. If in case surplus comes, then you'll add items contributing to surplus, and deficiency items you will minus. Now machinery, the following assets are valued as under. So machinery list A, Leasehold properties list B. Who all could get this correct? Who all have marked leasehold properties as list A? In the next paragraph, second line. Read that loudly, Agam. No, next paragraph, second line. So where will leasehold property come? List B. It is secured with bank overdraft. So machinery list A, leasehold property list B, investments list A, stock in hand list A. Did you understand this? Now what do you do with this? Bad debts 3,000 and doubtful debts 6,000, which are estimated to realize 3,000. Raise your hand. What do you do with bad debts 3,000 and estimated amount of doubtful debts 6,000, expected to realize 3,000? 3,000? Unsecured. Yes? No? How much are debtors on asset side? Debtors means book debts.
90,000.
Out of that, bad debts is 3,000 and further bad debts. Doubtful debts were 6,000, means bad debt reserve. But out of that, estimated to realize?
3,000.
Again, how much is unrealizable from that doubtful debts? 3,000. So total bad debt 6,000. 84,000 is ERV of debtors. Suppose it was given doubtful debt 6,000, expected to realize 4,000. Then estimated to realize 4,000 out of 6,000, means how much is not recoverable? Then bad debts will become 3,000 plus 2,000, 5,000. Okay, here coincidentally 3,000, so remaining also comes 3,000. So unrealized 3,000 and above that, right? Remaining 3,000 also bad debts. Remaining 3,000 also bad debts. Okay, coincidentally both are coming 3 only. So total bad debts are 3,000 and 3,000, 6,000. Means when you take list A, then debtors, what value will you take in list A? Debtors 84,000. Is everyone clear with this? Further, the bank overdraft is secured by deposit of title deeds of leasehold properties or liabilities set bank overdraft. Did you all mark it as list B?
Yes, sir.
Liabilities set bank overdraft list B. Preferential creditors 1,500, so list C. Telephone rent outstanding 120, list E. Is everyone clear with this? Now liabilities side. 24,000 shares of 5 each, 1,20,000, list G. Profit and loss account, list H. Reserve for bad debts, no entry, no effect. Debentures will be list D, floating charge. If nothing is mentioned, then list D, floating charge. Bank order we already marked as list B. Liability for purchase, list E. Asset side machinery already marked below as A, so don't mark it again. Leasehold property marked, stock in trade marked. Book debts marked as list A, but what value will you take instead of 90? 84,000. Investments is already marked below. Calls in areas, list A. And cash in hand, list A. Now calls in areas is anything given? Means we assume full amount will be realized. We cannot assume shareholders will not pay the money. So if nothing is given, means shareholders are going to pay full 7,500. So here nothing to minus.
Yes, sir.
Here nothing to minus because nothing is
Unrealized.
unrealizable. We assume that full amount of calls in areas 7,500 we are going to realize. Means here when you take list A, then calls in areas in list A, you will take it with full amount of 7,500. Did everyone understand this? Any doubts in that? Start solving it fast. In 20 minutes you make this statement of this, then I'll discuss how to make list X, the surplus account. Start solving it.